All right, let's talk about retargeting. We've all been there, right? You look at one pair of shoes online, and suddenly ads for those exact shoes are following you across the entire internet. For years, that's given retargeting a reputation for being, well, a little creepy. But the game is changing, big time. We're going to break down how retargeting is evolving from that clumsy stalker into a seriously smart marketing tool for 2026.
And you know what? Let's just put it all out there from the jump. Daniel Newman absolutely hits the nail on the head here. We call them stalker ads, and yeah, they can feel weird. But the crazy thing is, the strategy behind them has always worked. So that's the real question, isn't it? How do you keep what works without the creepiness? Well, the good news is, it's not just possible, it's what's happening right now.
So, just to make sure we're all on the same page, here's the basic idea. When you visit a website, it drops a tiny piece of code, a cookie, on your browser. Think of it like a digital breadcrumb. It doesn't know your name or who you are, it just knows that your browser was on that page. That little breadcrumb lets the brand find your browser again on other sites and show you an ad. Sounds simple, right? But it's that very simplicity that's led to some huge problems.
Which leads us right to the core issue. Why do we all instinctively roll our eyes when we see that same ad for the 10th time in an hour? Let's really dig into the whole stalker ad problem.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's not just a feeling you have. There's real data behind our annoyance. One study found that when people see the exact same ad multiple times in just 5 minutes, their attention plummets by 14%. That's a real, measurable thing called ad fatigue. So what's causing it? Well, it's two main culprits: showing the ad way too often and this massive audience overlap. I mean, think about it. The average US household has like 4 different streaming services, and the audience overlap between the top apps can be as high as 64%. So advertisers end up hammering you with the same ad across different channels without even meaning to. But it gets even bigger than that. Beyond just annoying people, the entire technological foundation that old-school retargeting was built on is basically crumbling. We are watching a fundamental shift in how the digital world works. For years, all of this has run on something called third-party cookies, those digital breadcrumbs we talked about. But with this huge and frankly necessary push for consumer privacy and new laws, those cookies are going extinct. This isn't just a small change. The industry calls it signal loss, and it means the whole foundation of that old way of tracking is falling apart. So, if third-party data is on its way out, what's replacing it? First-party data. And this is so important. This is the information that you, as a brand, collect directly and with consent from your audience. We're talking email signups, purchase histories, loyalty program info. You own it, it's ethical, and it is incredibly powerful. And this is exactly where the whole market is headed. As advertisers start relying more on their own first-party data, platforms like connected TV, your smart TVs, your Roku, your streaming services have become this essential new channel. And why is that? Because these are all logged-in environments, which makes it way easier to use that valuable first-party data for really precise, relevant ads. And of course, you know what they say, follow the money. Just check out these forecasts from eMarketer. Ad spending on connected TV is just blowing past what's being spent on traditional desktops and laptops. It's not some small niche channel anymore. It is quickly becoming a dominant force in advertising. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, we've seen the massive shift in the landscape. Now for the good part, the actual playbook for how to do this right in 2026. This is all about being strategic, being respectful, and believe it or not, being genuinely helpful. Here it is, side by side. The old way was a brute force approach. It was a sledgehammer, using third-party data to just hammer you with high-frequency sales ads. Smart retargeting is like a scalpel. It uses first-party data, it carefully controls how often you see an ad, and, this is key, it shifts the whole focus from just selling to providing real value and education. We can break this whole new playbook down into 3 core pillars. It's all about using smarter data, having smarter delivery, and creating much smarter content. Let's tackle each one. First things first, it all starts with the data. Like we've been saying, the new foundation for all of this is the ethical, strategic use of your own first-party data. This is what lets you be truly personal and relevant without being creepy. And this isn't just some abstract idea. Look at how this works in the real world. Instead of just targeting a giant bucket of website visitors, you can create super specific audiences. You could, say, combine your CRM data with financial info for a new product launch, or retarget your most loyal shoppers with a special program, or even reach out to customers who you know are due for an upgrade. Now that's smart. All right, pillar 2, smarter delivery. Because look, having the perfect audience means absolutely nothing if you just bombard them with ads at the wrong time in the wrong place. Smart delivery is all about context and control.
And the number one tool for this is something called frequency capping. It's exactly what it sounds like. You literally set a limit on how many times one person sees your ad in a certain amount of time. Remember that ad fatigue we talked about? Well, this is the direct cure. It's just about respecting your audience's attention. It's that simple. And frequency capping is really just the beginning. Smart marketers can use contextual targeting, so their ads show up next to content that's actually relevant. They can use geographic targeting to focus on specific cities or regions. And they can use cross-device targeting to give you a smooth, non-repetitive journey from your computer at work to your phone at home. And finally, we have pillar 3, which might just be the biggest change of all, the content of the ads themselves. The smartest brands out there are making a real philosophical shift away from constantly selling and toward a mindset of actually helping and educating. So here's the golden rule. Instead of retargeting someone who looked at a product page with an ad that just screams, "Buy now," you retarget them with something valuable. Maybe it's a helpful guide, a webinar, or an article that actually solves a problem for them. This is how you build trust and keep your brand top of mind in a really positive way. Let's look at a real company doing this. Ability Chiropractic doesn't just retarget people with discount offers. Nope. They've built what they call a philosophical retargeting ecosystem. They serve up content like a myth-busting series or educational pieces about the nervous system. See what they're doing? They're not just selling a service. They are trying to change their customers' entire perspective on health. Now that is powerful stuff. So, the big question. After all these changes, new data, new platforms, a whole new philosophy, does this smarter approach to retargeting actually work? Does it pay off? The answer is a resounding yes. Michael Scott from Samsung Ads predicts that connected TV, powered by all this first-party data, isn't just going to be for brand awareness anymore. It's going to prove itself as a powerful platform for driving actual sales. This combination of smart data, smart delivery, and smart content is what everyone's been chasing. And that really brings us to the final thought here. The one question every single brand needs to be asking itself as we head towards 2026. Is your advertising building genuine relationships and trust by providing real value? Or is it just creating more noise? Because the future belongs to the ones who choose to build relationships.
Smart One Marketing, igniting your potential.